Angelique to share her story with you.
Hello everyone, how are you? Good night? I'm here to tell you a story, alright? Hopefully it will inspire you a little bit, because abortion will come to an end. I'm just here as living proof to say that abortion will come to an end. There is no doubt in my mind it will. Alright? About 18 years ago, there was a woman who came from India. She came seeking an abortion because she already had 2 daughters, and her husband had just died of a heart attack. The reason she was coming for the abortion was because of a sex selection abortion, because in India apparently, and the culture of her province or whatever, if you had too many girls, you were considered cursed. So her family would have been probably what they would consider an outcast. She was, I suppose, around 7 months pregnant when she came, and she decided, all right, I'm going to go down to California and have my abortion. As she was walking up to the clinic, she is now 8 months pregnant, okay? There is a sidewalk counselor outside. One sidewalk counselor, one who had worked with Operation Rescue, one that had gone on the front lines of abortion and said, no, we will stop this. She stood out there and said, you have other choices. You do not have to kill your child. There is no reason. My mother looked at her and said, I'm sorry, you don't understand. I have to have this abortion. There are no other options for me at all. Nobody will help me. She looked at the counselor looked at my mother and said, no, I will help you. My mother still was not convinced, grabbed the lady by the neck, put her eye to eye and said, listen, nobody will help me. I don't expect you to help me. I have to have this abortion, period. Well, the woman took a step back, got down on her hands and knees in front of an abortion clinic in Downey, California on a public sidewalk and said, no, I will help you. You cannot have this abortion. You cannot kill the precious child that is inside of you. You gotta forgive me, it's a sensitive subject. The only thing that changed my mother's mind that day was a picture of what an abortion looked like. I believe they call it David, the baby head. I believe they call him David. She took that picture out of her pocket and said, listen, this is what abortion looks like. This is the face of murder itself. This is the face of abortion. You cannot do this to your child. Your child is precious. Your child will grow and be a beautiful young woman. She got up there and she paid for my life. I owe her everything. My mother looked at her and started crying her eyes out, saying, no, no, I can't do that to my child. That woman, that amazing woman, her name is Joanna Luttrell, she went down to her church, which is a nesting place, which is, I'm very proud to say, my church. She went out and talked to our head pastor, Pastor Al Howard, and said, listen, we have a lady who needs help. We have to help her, otherwise she will kill her child. My pastor looked no farther than his front row of his church, and my parents were sitting there, Rodney and Charlotte Berneri. He asked them, listen, we need to find adoptive parents. Will you please take care of the baby until we can find her permanent adoptive parents? My mother and father looked at them, looked at my pastor and his wife and said, you need look no further, we will adopt the baby. That baby that was adopted did grow up. That child is me. My entire lifetime. I have grown up watching my heroes fight abortion day after day, month after month, year after year, still wondering why, God, why is this going on in the country that I hold so dearly in my heart? I have watched Jeff and Cheryl and Troy and Mr. Savinik and Pat fight for the lives of these children being murdered inside these abortion clinics, brutally murdered as if it's okay, and everybody else looking the other way saying, yeah, it's fine, don't worry, it's just a blob of tissue. I'm sorry, no. You will never tell me that that child is a blob of tissue. I was not a blob of tissue, and I'm sorry, I do not think I look like that. I think I'm a little more formed than a blob of tissue. I'm here to ask you guys a really, really important question. How many of you guys have kids that you would love to see involved with survivors? Love to see fight on the front lines of abortion and say, no, no, this is not right. How many of you guys have kids? We see a lot of hands out there. I'm so proud of our survivors. My survivors is literally the air I breathe. I give all glory to God, my darling, amazing King, because He's the one that placed me in the middle of this and said, hey, guess what? You get to help fight it. You get to help fight this murder that you hate so much. Our survivors get up early and go to bed late, thinking of ways they can fight abortion. They're out there getting spit on, attacked, arrested, whatever it takes, to go ahead and say, you know what? Our generation will no longer be murdered. Our generation will live. Our children will not have to fight this when they grow up. I am determined to say that my children will not have to fight as hard as I'm fighting, will not have to deal with this. I don't want to wake up one day, be married and have kids and say, my kids have to go down to the abortion clinic and help fight murder. I'm sorry. It will end. It has to end. And that's Survivor's goal, to end abortion through our generation. Our kids are amazing. Every single one of them I adore with every ounce of my being. They make me so proud to say, yes, I am part of this generation. Otherwise, I'd be ashamed of my generation for not getting up and standing for the lives of those innocent children. The kids sitting in front of you, every single one of them, are my heroes. And I'm so proud. I just want to say that this night is not something I will ever forget. I was sitting in here in the van going, oh my gosh, God, we are getting so close, just listening to Mr. Newman, just listening about how close we are to getting these children saved. And one life will make a difference. One life makes a difference to many, 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 many people. I'm one of them. I'm so proud to say that I wasn't murdered. The thought of being torn apart in my mother's womb is very scary. But I won't let that happen to any other kids either. If you want your kids to get involved, please go out to those tables and get as much information as you possibly can. Buy them sweatshirts, get the buttons, do anything you can, just to show them. If you have to go to our YouTube sites or whatever, survivors.la, show them that we have kids who are passionate about something. There are so many kids who are passionate, and they have nothing to fight for. Those kids, I know so many teenagers coming up to me. I have this yearning inside of me to do something. I know God is calling me. This is an amazing outlet for that. Because God uses us. He directs us and leads us in the way that we should go. He lights the path, and He has made us the city on the hill, saying that our generation will stand up and fight abortion like no other. Because abortion will end in my lifetime. I will not die until it does. I've heard so many pro-life speakers get up here and say that, but I know for a fact it's true. Thank you.